Welcome back to Adultish Wines. Happy Thirsty Thursday. It's your girl Pete, and I'm here with Wyatt Cagle, who is an award-winning, and I'm going to go into his awards and his things that he's worked on, but I'm going to give you an award for patience to start with.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we've had a little delay to the show, and we've just been getting to know each other, which I actually think will work out for the best because this is the first time we're meeting, but learned that we have some things in common, some people in common. You brought me a delicious wine. I don't know how to pronounce it, but we're going to go with Iluan.
I love it.
And it's from Oregon, and it's a Pinot Noir, and it's delicious. And that was so nice of you to bring. So welcome to Adultish Wines.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So he's a director, filmmaker, producer, director of photography.
Correct.
What's the difference between director and director of photography?
Oh, so great question. The difference between those two things is that there's basically when they started making film, they decided like, you know what? Whenever actors started talking and we had to start blocking scenes, and it became more than just let's put a camera down and just basically film a stage play. When they just realized like, hey, we could move this camera, which then changed the perspective of the audience, and we could change lighting, and that changes how we see things. They went, hey, this job is too much for one person.
Yeah.
So the director is in charge of, on a modern set, is in charge of basically the entire creative vision.
Okay.
And specifically about blocking and the actors and what they're doing and making sure that the emotion is there, the story is there, that we get everything.
Yeah.
The director of photography is there to make sure that the lighting and the visual side of things is captured in a way that also tells that story.
Oh my gosh. And so you are so ready to get out of your chair and help with the lighting in the studio.
Hey,
how does it feel?
The crew has done a fantastic job.
No, of course. Love Creators Guild, love the Hive. Yeah. But do you feel like tempted to get up and do something?
I used to, but I found now that it's just like, hey, look, these are all professionals. They know what they're doing. Now, if somebody was just standing around, just like twiddling their thumbs, going like, I don't know what to do, I would totally.
You would hop in.
I'd be the Boy Scout and jump in. But
yeah. So back in the day when I used to film my podcast in my second bedroom of my apartment, I had a guest come, and he came with his, I don't know, I'll say just videographer or something, and a social media person. Something happened where the camera, like my setting that I just always used, I walked out of the room to get something. I came back and the setting was wrong. And as I was telling you while we were catching up, I don't know shit about cameras. And so I was full on panicking, sweating, practically. Like I held it together, but I would have loved for that person to be like, let me help you. Like, oh, how do you normally have it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's a fine line, because I want to also be respectful to the person that is like, yeah, I know that it's this, or I know that it's that. I'm just waiting for X, Y, or Z. So yeah. I've learned just to step back. And then as you work on larger sets, when you work on smaller sets, everybody's a jack of all trades, and you're all jumping in. And especially when you're in like small indie films, stuff like, hey, we're all just coming together and let's just make it happen. And we'll just bootstrap it all the way up. But as you get on larger sets, like everybody has their role. And if you step in, I mean, I got my hand slapped by some gaffers and grips earlier in my career, just like, kids, stay in your lane.
For sure.
That's not what we do on this large studio.
Everyone has a job. Everyone has a place. Do not overstep. And it's actually like, I don't want to use the word illegal, but like if I'm in costumes, I can certainly not be doing something like...
You can get the production in trouble if you do something
because I'm doing a union covered job. Right.
Like you can do something that, if you think that you know about the, mock box, which is like a lunch box, which is a power distribution thing. You're like, I know how to do. You could electrocute somebody.
Oh my God.
So there's
danger.
You pull the wrong rope.
Yeah.
You can hurt somebody.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things of reading the room.
Yeah. Welcome to Adultish Wines Podcast, where we're grown enough to pay bills, but messy enough to still text our exes. Grab a glass of wine and let's get adultish. Cool. Well, I'm happy to have you here, and I hope that you enjoy yourself, the delicious wine. You are also a husband and a dad.
Yes. And
you have a son, and he is how old now?
He is 12 years old now.
Oh, okay. All right. And your wife is also in the industry.
We actually met in the industry. That's my meet cute story for us.
Tell us the meet cute.
So yeah, I was doing in my mid-20s, I was doing a stint of jumping from film set to indie film set to indie film set. Like I was living out of a suitcase. I was living out of my car.
Wow.
To the point where I would work as a local on these films, and I would be like, hey, I'd love to come to Boston and do your movie, but I don't have a place to live. But I'll work as a local, meaning that you don't have to pay for my hotel or something.
Right.
And I was like, but I have no place to stay. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we're renting a house for the production office. You can just have one of the spare bedrooms. But a lot of times it was just a couch that I would just crash on.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if they were to do that these days?
They probably still do.
Really?
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe on some non-union stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. This was all, Indie. Sub 5 million, very low budget.
Okay.
Yeah, no. And I was like, oh, I'm assistant directing or second ADing or third ADing. So I'm going to live there anyway. Might as well just sleep there. So yeah. But on the last movie that I did where I was on the road for a long time, and I just went to Beaumont, Texas for this little movie called Noble Things. And I was on this movie as a second AD. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do after this movie or something like that. And then there was this cute redhead who was assistant wardrobe, and we just hit it off, and she was from Houston, Texas. And then funny enough, just how things happen, a business opportunity opened up in Houston, Texas. So I ended up moving to Houston. I was like, well, I'll just keep seeing this girl. And then now, 15 plus years later, we're still together, and we've been married for 15 years now.
That is so cute.
So, yeah.
Oh my God. For the 5 years I worked on set, I hoped for that. I hoped I would meet someone.
Well, set romances are definitely, especially on that movie, we have 3 couples, three people that met on that movie and got married.
Are the other ones?
They're all still together. We're all still together.
Gosh.
Well, not all of us together, but
all
3 of us. Yeah, not that kind of movie.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congrats on a long-lasting marriage and relationship. Yeah,
but she's a wardrobe supervisor for the Houston Grand Opera now, so she's a little bit more stable. Like, at least I can look at her schedule and be like, well, I know what you do in the fall and the spring.
For sure.
I don't know what I do from week to week.
Yeah, I want to get into that with you because I know that you go back and forth between LA and travel and stuff. So we're going to get into that. But first, we're going to play Wine of the Week, but we're going to do Director's kind of edition.
Director's cut.
And yeah, exactly. And just kind of because we'll try and, I don't want to say dumb it down, whiners, but because we're obviously going to be maybe speaking the same lingo, we'll make sure that I'm not. Like, if I say I'm in Local 705, you guys might not know that that's the actual costume union in Los Angeles. So we'll try and be better about that. But as y'all know, sometimes we talk about hard things on the pod, and the stigma around mental health is one of them. That's why I'm so happy to have BetterHelp Therapy as a sponsor. There's no shame in the therapy game. You don't need to have a serious clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety to go to therapy. You can just be a regular human with regular human-ish to figure out. Therapy can even just help you with everyday tools for everyday life. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and accessible. I know finding a therapist can be the most intimidating step of starting this journey, and the benefit of BetterHelp is that it's online, remote, and you get matched with a professional therapist within days. Use the link in the description of this episode or go to betterhelp.com/adultish. It's so easy, you will not regret it. Don't be scared. If you don't love the first therapist you're matched with, you can easily switch. That's one of the things I was worried about. When I tell my whole life story to one person, I have to switch to another one because I'm not really getting along. So this one, you don't have to worry about the network, the insurance, blah, blah, blah. So if you need an unbiased professional to vent to, or whether you have anxiety, PTSD, depression, or family issues, I think BetterHelp is a great place to start. Click the link in the episode description or go to betterhelp.com/adultish for 10% off your first month. Love you, Wine. Wine of the Week. I want to know what your most overrated and underrated movies are.
Wow. Most overrated and underrated movies. All right, I'm gonna get shit for this one.
Uh-oh.
All right. So overrated movies. I think The Godfather's overrated.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, that's a very hot take.
Okay.
I already feel myself blushing. I was like, I can't believe you actually admitted that. Like I get it. Like, I can watch it. I'm like, no, it's a good movie, but I don't see why it's considered where it's
greatest.
But also Coppola is not like.
Okay.
I just don't. He and I don't vibe in terms of his style and stuff like that.
Because it's really an art.
It really is, yeah. And everybody has their own take on stuff. Some
right.
people don't. I mean, when you're talking about like even fine art, some people like modern art. Some people are like, it's a square.
Right. Yeah.
So it's the same deal. So yeah, I've watched it and I go, okay, that good.
Good.
All right. I will. It is not in my collection.
Okay.
And then underrated. I think Tremors is underrated.
I don't know this one.
Oh, you don't know it's Kevin Bacon from like the 90s
I like Kevin
and stuff
Bacon.
like that. It's just this little horror movie.
Okay.
And I think that it's a little sleeper that it's
is
just
it
a
T-R-I?
T-R-E-M.
Oh, Tremors.
Tremors. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the ground.
Yeah.
It's about monsters that crawl through the dirt and come out.
Okay. I tell myself I like scary movies, but then when I start to watch it, I get...
it's got a little bit of a comedy stint to it. And it's not too... It's like a... I showed it to my son early because it's like baby's first horror movie. Like you could watch this and it's kind of scary, but it's not too scary. So it's kind of... it's just
a good warm up.
You step them up to that. And then
I might take a peek at that.
Yeah.
I'd be interested. I like Kevin Bacon. I was going to say one thing you'll never do on set again. Like, have you, for me, cried. I cried twice on one movie. Twice in my 5-year career, I cried on one movie. It was awful. I'll never do it again. Got the best of me.
Like, so somebody said something on set that you, or?
Yeah, like I got yelled at by the director. It was on a movie that I worked on, Mank. Are you familiar?
I've heard of it.
I was trying to get something off of this girl's apron, off of her wardrobe, off of her costume, and I didn't know that the prop person came by and gave her the tray of drinks, and so I stood up and knocked the tray of drinks, and it went everywhere, and the director, screamed at me bloody murder, and I ran off the set crying.
Director, that's not cool, dude.
Well, that director, we won't say his name.
I don't care who you are. Like, directors, don't yell at anybody.
He's actually like such a big director, and like, yeah, it was really scary. But anyway, so like crying on set again, like I just promised myself I would never do that again.
Yeah, there's nothing.
We're not saving lives.
So my brother's a ER nurse. So he like literally saves lives. And I'm just like, I don't do that. I don't save lives. So there's nothing. I used to get really upset about stuff and get flustered on set. And now I was just like, the part is just keep it chill.
Right.
Like we should all we get to make believe. Like even when it's commercials, even it's corporate video and stuff like that, we get to make believe.
You're doing the coolest job ever, really, to anyone, you know? Yeah. Okay.
So many people want to know what we, it's like, oh, that sounds like a great job. And I mean, this career has brought me all over the world. I haven't been to Antarctica and I haven't been to Australia. That's about it. Like I've been to so many places. I've seen so much cool stuff. I've got to play in so many cool sandboxes. So yeah, it's just like, look, if this costs us a couple $100 extra because of OT for the crew or something like that, we should strive not to do that, but let's not.
It's not the end of the world.
Let's not lose our heads over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's one thing?
I will definitely, I plan my sets and I keep to my schedules. Like on my first short film outside of film school, like I didn't plan it properly enough. And like we went to like an 20-hour day on it. Yeah. And then the crew, rightfully so, like most of them didn't show up the next day they're like, F you, bro. Yeah, exactly. And they were 100% right. They shouldn't have shown up. So they didn't. And I was at that point, I was like, I need to respect my crew more. I need to respect the process more, and I need to put the work in. And as a director and as a DP, part of that work is making sure that your shot lists are good, your boards are good, your schedule's good, that you're working with your producer to make that all work, so that whenever people do show up to work and help you for little money or no money or pizza, that you are respecting their time. And I didn't respect people's. I was a little bit more of like, I'm an artist. Like we're just gonna, we're just all gonna fall into. We're just gonna do this, and it's gonna fall into place, and it's gonna be cool. And you're just like, that's not how this works. Like it's a job, dude. Like treat it like that.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, good reflection. Who gets the worst rep on sets? Grips, costumes, makeup, gaffers. We've got, the director and the producers.
I would say camera department gets the most.
Okay.
The most, but it's not unwarranted as a former as DP.
Yeah.
I'm part of the camera department, and I've first assistant camera, which is basically the head of that department. And I lived in the camera department for many years. Like we're around the camera, so we kind of think ourselves like it's a little bit of the lead guitarist or the rock star
Yeah,
kind
you guys
of
think
vibe
you're hot
to,
shit.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. And I never did because I am a big dork, so it's not really my thing. But yeah, no, well, tattoos and and stuff like that. I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to be those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But
yeah.
But yeah, they get a lot of shit.
They do. In my opinion, so I was obviously in costumes and worked mostly on union projects, but I would say that like it was always a source of frustration. Now, I worked on very union projects. Like here in Houston, sometimes it can be, if there's a production out here, it's kind of a mishmash. Like we were mentioning earlier, like it can be someone from LA, someone from New York, someone from Atlanta, someone from New Orleans. Everyone goes by different standards, different union rules, all this stuff. So it's kind of a mishmash. But in LA, it's like costumes. You do not touch their hair. If you need to get to the collar, you need to call in makeup for them to move the hair, for you to get to the collar. Like it's so specific and crazy. But I think that like if makeup just had walkie-talkies on, like costumes does, and has to hear all that shit in their ear all day long, we would all be in a better place.
I will say this, like if I want the lowdown, if I want the skinny of what's going on set, I'm going to makeup and I'm like,
for sure.
So what's going
Especially
on?
With makeup, because they're sitting in their chair for hours sometimes. With costumes, I'm setting their costume in their trailer, and we're not talking too much. But
yeah, no, makeup
has the cost.
When I was second ADing a lot on feature films, and we would have B, C, D list actor celebrities and stuff like that. Sometimes they would wander and it was hard to wrangle them. And I'm having to wrangle them with a smaller, group of PAs. And so I was always understaffed and undermanned and like, but I would always just go to makeup. I'm like, where are they? I'm like, I didn't tell you.
That is so funny.
But he's behind the stable. He's got a flask on. That's all I'm saying. So I'm like, thank you very much. Let me go find him,
That is so funny. Yeah. Oh my God, so true.
Bring him to set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how did you find me? I was just like, I
don't know.
I put an Apple tag on
Followed the smell.
Yeah. They need to do put Apple tags on them.
Okay. What about worst thing you've ever had from Crafty? And for anyone who's listening who doesn't know what Crafty is food that the production provides to you on set. So typically there's breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, depending on how long your day is. And I mean, I've had some bad ones, so I was just curious. Anything striking you?
So my biggest thing is just pizza. Whenever it's just, hey, we've got you a meal. It's pizza. I'm like,
it's 17 hours in. We're bringing
exactly.
pizza.
Your second meal, your walkaway dinner is a slice of Domino's pepperoni. I'm just like, I'm so good. Can I just leave now?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think like anytime that pops up, I'm just like, it's more of like, can you make any other effort?
Yeah, right.
Like production, just make a little.
You clicked that order.
Yeah. So
okay, for me,
but I will say like some of the best ones though that I've had is that it's actually here in Houston. We've got some great crafty people, and they would just walk around with like these little avocado sandwiches and stuff like that, and walk around and do that.
Sounds like you kind of want one.
Yeah, you
kind of went back there just now.
Yeah, it was just nice and fresh and light, and it's Texas, so it's really hot, and when you're outside, you're just like, a little avocado sandwich, like
refreshing.
Like yeah.
Okay, I like that. I once in LA, it was like 115 degrees. I was on Euphoria, and the Crafty thought it was a great idea to bring out like seafood outside. It was actually a whole fish with eyeballs and bones and everything.
Oh.
On ice.
Fancy in the wrongest way possible.
What are you thinking? People crowded around that thing just like, should we try?
Right.
Like how do we...
Is this set decoration?
If we wanted to, like what are we...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, it's whenever they even choose like lasagna or something heavy.
Stroganoff.
Yeah.
Stroganoff. One time... It'll have to be a conversation for afterwards, but like there's a huge inside joke, and people actually got shirts for everyone to wear the last day of set saying this girl loves stroganoff, because one time on set they said like, fifth meal is here, whatever. And I was like, if it's stroganoff, I swear to God. And I was on, and the director was
you were on channel 1.
I was on channel 1 and the director was like, you got something to say? And I was like, shit. Well, haven't we had enough stroganoff?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yeah. Okay, one more. How do you feel about limited series? Limited series is
from a viewer standpoint,
Yeah.
I actually think I love it.
Okay.
Because it gets me kind of closer to what films are. So like with a limited series, I feel like the storyteller can write a beginning, middle, and end.
Mm-hmm.
With television, Quentin Tarantino actually was on a podcast kind of talking about this, of just like his problem with television is that it has the patina of film. It looks like film, just it has the outside look of film. It has the same language.
Yeah.
I mean, we're shooting with the same cameras now. It's like it's edited the same way, but the storytelling structure is more open-ended because, hey, I got a TV show. I want to keep this thing going until the audience falls away. So at the end of the episode, the end of the season, I have to keep it open-ended. With a movie, though, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I'm telling a contained story in that way. I'm talking like actual films, not like Marvel. Which is like, no, we're just trying to get you to the next one. I'm talking about like a real proper quote unquote film. So I think with the limited series, it has a little bit more of that structure, and you can do more of a novelization. It gives you more of a novel style structure where you can actually tell longer stories, but it's still contained.
Yeah.
Versus a television show that it's just like, no, we got to keep that thing. It's still popular, so we got to go to season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I just don't like that it ends so. Like, I want more in a limited series. Like, I'm always left wanting more.
But I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, when you like that versus like, all right, we've played this out. So much. Yeah. But from a business side, I really do miss the 24 episodes a season because, hey, man, people made good livings doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
so that employed a lot of people.
I just heard recently Warner Brothers just said that they slashed 10% of their. I think they just let go 52 employees, which may not seem like a lot, but like. I don't know. I'm just thinking I used to work on Warner Brothers a lot all the time. Like, it's just.
Oh, the lots are dead.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
The lots are dead. Yeah. Well,
everything's on location.
That, but also just they're just not making as much stuff anymore because the ground is shifting underneath us in terms of this industry.
Right.
And a lot of people lament about like, oh, we've been here before. Like the industry has shifted multiple times. I mean, we had in the 50s, whenever the antitrust broke it up, where like, oh, the studios used to own all the theaters and you own the entire vertical, broke that up. Now, then the studios had to adapt. They did that, no problem. Then in the 70s, or the 60s, they had a problem with the studio model of like how they were putting people on retainer and these movies were costing too much. And, and they were dumb and they weren't connecting with the audience. And then they went to the film schools and they went, hey, let's find that next generation. That's where we got Spielberg and, even though I ragged on Coppola, but it's like, we got Coppola, we got Lucas, we got that next generation of Scorsese. We got that next generation of it. And then we went through the 80s and then the 90s, there was still another dip. Then we had the Miramax generation with Rodriguez, with Tarantino, with Kevin Smith, like we've been through these before. And now we're just like, okay, they tried the streaming model thing and we're seeing how that's not maybe going the way that they wanted it to, and the industry has to adjust and we have to figure it out. And us as artists and us as business professionals and stuff like that have to like see. But I mean,
it's just
we'll figure it out.
It is painful.
Yeah. No, it is.
You just look at these people who have, just literally don't have work.
Yeah, no, it's adapt or die.
And the Stephen Colbert show just got canceled. Like, what's the deal there? What is the reason for that?
Well,
do you think?
My interpretation of that is that it probably was losing money. And a lot of the reports are saying that a lot of those late night shows are losing money. Funny enough, I was just having this conversation. I think that the reason that Colbert went out probably first out of all those is because he was not pouring in as much to the YouTube and the shorts generation, where
he was like, I'm just going to keep sticking with this.
Or just the content that he was making wasn't creating something that was
super
shareable. Yeah. And digestible in shorter increments. I think Kimmel and Fallon both, I mean, especially with Fallon with his like little games and stuff like that, like that's basically like, oh, we just pull that little segment and that's a little 4-minute clip.
Yep.
Boom, we're good to go. I think Saturday Night Live has done the same thing. Why Saturday Night Live is still relevant kind of boggles the mind a little bit, but I think it's insanely shareable. They have been really good about looking for that new thing. They did that with the something Sunday. The guys from the Long Island guys, like back like 10 or 15 years ago with Adam Sandberg and whatnot. And then they've continually like, they've got a good social media presence. They have a good presence on YouTube. And that is the new frontier.
Yeah, you need to hop on
that
it.
If you're not on that right now, like that's the new cable.
Right.
Like if you're not jumping on that, because cable is, talk about dying.
Right.
Like, cable is.
Oh, it's just so sad. Any way you slice it. Even with all the reasonings, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you just have to, but it always changes. You know, it was sad whenever we went away from actually shooting on film. I really liked shooting on film.
Yeah.
But you know, it's
you just
heavy
roll
and cumbersome
with the tide.
and expensive and hard to work with. And it takes patience and people don't want that.
Like, people aren't patient.
Yeah. People aren't patient.
Yikes. And either are the budgets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The budgets definitely have shrunk. So we as an industry need to like adapt or die, which I would say that for Texas and Houston specifically, like we're scrappy.
Right.
Like,
oh, great word.
We're good at adapting to things and we're good at figuring out like, okay, I don't have all this legacy of like, well, this is how it's done behind me. So we should be looking at that stuff and looking at what LA and New York and Chicago and Miami have been doing, and even Dallas, even our neighbors, Dallas and Austin. Like, what have they been doing? What's been doing right?
Yeah.
And we should adopt what has been doing right for the art, but also the people, and then let the rest just drift away.
Right. Okay. Copy that. Interesting. So you are South Coast Media Services production company out here in Houston, CEO. Mm-hmm. And we were talking again before we actually pressed play on the cameras that, you know, there's a lot of work out here in Houston. And obviously we're talking about the work kind of being different. So do you feel like you're taking that on as like trying to bring, I mean, obviously for you, because you're a creative, right? So like anything that you do is going to be great for yourself, but are you trying to bring it kind of to Houston more? Because I know film is going to Atlanta, New Orleans, like.
Yeah. So
does Houston have a future?
Houston definitely has a future, and it really depends on, we have to decide what that future is and then work towards it. You know, you have to put the work in. We can, I've been here a long time, and complaining is like, sure, we can complain all day long.
Yeah.
And we do. And I do too. Like, you know, like we all have our pluses and minuses of like, oh, why did that show go to Austin? We should be there. But Houston has its things that are just not there yet for it. But if we acknowledge what those things are and then start working towards it, and there's a lot of great organizations that are trying that to do that, you know, trying to do workforce initiatives to like bring more education to the area so that we can build up our crew base. Cause everybody goes like, oh, we need studio space, which is true. We need larger sound stages and stuff like that. But me personally, I feel that our biggest issue is crew.
Yeah.
Is making sure that we build up a large enough crew base that a production mode like Mo.
I worked on Mo.
Oh, cool.
And I was going to say, I can totally understand what you're saying about that because, and I'm not saying LA is the best. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the standards that I knew from my LA production days were so different than what we were just kind of thrown into it was like survive, thrown in, enjoy. And like I said, I was with someone from New Orleans, from Atlanta, from New York, you know, they just kind of outsourced and it was chaos. And it was
season 1 or season 2?
It was season 1.
Yeah, I heard that.
I got hired on to come help save their returns. They were losing so much money because they were not
with Rebecca
returning.
Stacey?
I think was she the supervisor?
I think she may have bailed.
Oh gosh, I cannot remember. Everyone was lovely.
Yeah.
But it was just like, and at one point I was like, hey, can you take this rack to somebody, this rolling rack? And they were like, we need a second person. Because in New York, you can't handle a wardrobe rack with only one person. I said, there's 5 items on this rack, girl. take this fucking thing to the van, you know, like, so it was just crazy. So I get what you're saying about the crew.
Yeah. And it's for the longest time, Houston had a little bit of, and thankfully, I think this is definitely changing, had a little bit of a chip on its shoulder about, well, this is how we do it here. We don't do that. We don't do that, LA. This is how we do it.
This is H-Town.
This is H-Town. Yeah. And I think my generation has come up going like, no, we need to humble ourselves to the fact that the industry started in New York and LA, and they are the initiators of that. So like, unless we're funding this thing
right.
and like completely creating it in Houston, we need to step up to their standards. And hopefully, you know, me and a bunch of others that have worked on those larger sets are trying to bring that mentality to the smaller sets and to the local, or I should say to the local sets.
Yeah.
Like bringing that and making sure that like, look, we're not union by name, but we're treating this like a union show.
Yeah.
So
and everyone will benefit.
Everybody will benefit, but also we'll get practice. So when a union show does show up, we actually don't look like idiots. Don't look like the country bumpkins that I think that I don't necessarily know that if like actually LA or New York people think we are, but there's a perception on this side of Houston people like, I don't think that we're very savvy to this. And the little truth is we're kind of not.
Yeah.
Like some of us really aren't. So it's really the responsibility of the ones that do know what's going on to impart that knowledge to the next generation, to the current workforce, and be like, hey, look, whenever I say bring me an apple box and I say that I want it in Chicago or New York or LA style, you know what I'm talking about. Or if I'm asking for a pork chop, or I'm asking for a C-stand, or I'm asking for, you know, like all those are.
The training is so important from the top down to the bottom.
Yeah. So that whenever they come here, they go, we want crews or producers to come here, hire local, and then go, Houston have great crews. They're solid. They do good work. They're great to work with.
Yeah.
We want to go back.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal. And I think that how we make people feel when they leave, and that's business 101.
Right.
Like people don't necessarily.
That's being a human.
Yeah.
How do you impact somebody? Good or bad? They're going to remember.
They're going to remember that.
So whether that's just in your personal life or business, on set, anything.
And it's also, I think it's beholden to the city too. Of like, we need to. Austin has like, keep Austin weird. It's got a vibe to it. It's got a reputation, even though I've heard many people complain about production in Austin and Dallas, just like they complain about LA or here or something like that. But when I tell people that I'm from LA, or when I'm in LA or something like that, I'm telling them from Texas, I get a different response whenever they go, oh, you're from Austin. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm actually from Houston. And then I'm like, oh, there's like a disappointment. Like,
you're like the redheaded stepchild.
Shut up. You know?
Yeah.
Like don't, like, I love this city. Like, I'm still here for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's a quiet dignity of this place. And
absolutely.
And there is a vibe here. And there's like definitely a coolness factor here. But it's not out there. So I think that also it's kind of imparted onto the city or to us as artists. Because I mean, I want to say that there's a Houston film that's like just won Tribeca or like placed really well at Tribeca.
I'm sad that I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like there is some other stuff at like Sundance. Anyway, I'm on the board of SWAMP, which is the Southwest Alternate Media Project, which is a workforce initiative. Like it's an old nonprofit that is designed to like help bring more people into the industry and train them up and get them into a great place. Also the Houston Cinema Arts Society.
Yeah.
Like, and I was talking to their CEO or their managing director, and she was telling me that. I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. I was like, that's the stuff that we need to know more about.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Because there's definitely, there's artistry here. There's a vibe here, but we've got to get the word out. It's, it's branding, it's marketing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think there's room for us.
Oh, there's definitely. I'm
claiming H-Town, by the way. I don't know if you caught that. Room for us, me, and H-Town. Sorry, LA.
But with the new incentives and stuff like that, there's definitely like a huge opportunity for Texas. And then stuff like the Houston Association of Producers are trying to get more productions in here, because if we can get larger productions in here. Right now we have a great commercial crew base. Like they work on commercials because the rates are nicer.
God, they're so hard. Commercials are so hard.
They're hard, but like the rates are at a level where you can have a good living, make a good living doing those things. So whenever those come in, but then they take up all the kind of the A-list crew. So if a television show wants to come in, their rates are lower because they're going for longer times.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to work on your TV show for 2 months and make the same I'll make in 3 weeks on a commercial?
Right.
You know, like,
yeah,
I can work for like 10 days on a commercial over those 2 months and make the exact same amount of money or potentially make more money. So it's kind of a hard, and then it's like, if I put out blackout dates, then are those line producers going to call me, or are they going to move to the next person?
Yeah.
If you're a first AC or something like that, you know, if you're crew, it's like, oh, will they forget about me? So I'm not going to take that movie. So it's
it's a kind of an interesting line to toe.
Right.
Well, because
in other markets, there's usually a pretty straight divide about like, because I got a friend that's doing the promos for like Landman season 2.
Okay.
And he's a commercial director or a commercial producer. And he's from Houston, but he's up in Fort Worth doing that. And he brought a bunch of the commercial people from Houston up there. None of the people in that crew were from Landman season 2, the show. Mm-hmm. They're all, you know, there's that line between those two crews. And Houston kind of needs to build up both.
Okay. Just got to work hard, be patient.
Yeah, it's
brand and marketing.
Yeah, it's making sure that everybody knows that.
And the networking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. We are pro sex toys on Adultish Wines, whether it's for solo play, partner play, gift for a friend. I mean, I can personally vouch for Adam and Eve. I bought a sex toy or 20. Adam and Eve is giving Adultish listeners a spankin' deal. See what I did there? You get 50% off of 1 item, 3 special bonus gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping. And free discreet shipping, by the way. Go to adamandeve.com to get 50% off the 1 item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping. That's ADULTISH at adamandeve.com. Okay. I want to hear more about Abundant, which is a documentary that you directed and director of photography.
I was director of photography and editor on it, and then I was one of the producers.
Okay.
There was 3 producers on
it. And just recently had a screening in Houston.
Yes.
But where is it available to watch?
So right now is just doing its theatrical run. Okay. We have a deal with AMC where it is running at AMCs all over the country. It's been doing that since it premiered at the Directors Guild of America Theater in Los Angeles back in March. Okay. And it has been doing its theatrical run across the country since then. And it's played in like over, I think like 50 cities or something like that. It's played all over the place. And it's
very cool.
You know, several thousand people have seen it with those screenings. And we just had Abundant Day, which was the screening that you were talking about in Houston, which we had 12 cities all simultaneously screening.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah. So we're doing that to get the word out and, you know, for us to do then the digital distribution. Yeah. We are going to go to a distributor after that.
Okay. And this is a documentary based on 9 strangers and individuals who donated kidneys.
Two strangers.
2 strangers.
That's the big thing. Yeah. They're called non-directed kidney donors. So Donald Griswold is the director and the producer on this. And we had a long working career, and he brought me this idea of like, hey, I want to do this documentary, and we work together so much. I was like, all right, let me give you the this is how to make a successful indie documentary.
Okay.
Like I've been on both sides of this. Is like, this is how you do it. And I laid it out for him, and I was like, 90% of people don't do this, and that's why 90% of indie documentaries fail.
Okay. Like they don't see the light of day.
They never see the light of day, or they definitely don't make their money back, even if they do see the light of day. And he went, okay. And bless him, he took everything I said to heart, and he has followed that playbook, and it's been super successful.
Oh, great.
That, you know, he's gone through and done the legwork, done a lot of work to make this happen. But the story is like that there's this group of people called non-directed kidney donors that have just decided, you know what, there is a need. I have 2 kidneys. I only technically need 1.
Oh, like voluntarily,
just
like
voluntarily,
they didn't even...
just with abundance in their heart, just went, I'm going to give it to a stranger with no strings attached.
Wow, what a good human.
Right, which my first question was, why? Because I'm coming from a scarcity mindset of going, this is a perfectly good body part. Why?
Yeah.
Why? So, which is a great start to a documentary.
I knew someone who could have used my kidney, but I said to myself, I didn't offer it up. It was a friend of a friend, but I said, what if my niece or nephew needs my kidney? I want to save it for them, which is selfless, but also selfish. But like, that's insane.
Yeah. So what we ended up doing was Donald really embedded himself with the kidney transplant community, and which is great to do for a documentarian of like really understanding what they needed to do to tell that story, and became friends with them, built up an audience for it, and then had this kind of crazy ideas like, what if we did a live event where these people did, because he was really big into spoken word, into storytelling. What if we had these people come out to stage to a live audience and tell their story? I was like, that's an interesting idea as a spine for our documentary. And then we're going to weave in and out of that, elaborating a little bit on their story, but also diving more into this idea of abundance. So we start off at the Majestic Theater in Dallas, Texas, in front of a packed house. So it's this beautiful 1930s stage or theater. So it looks great, and it's multicam, and it's really, really well done. It's on this blacked out stage, and Donald's creative idea was like, also like, and I want interpretive dance. I was like, rewind that. You want interpretive dance? Like, yeah, while they're saying their story, dancers behind them doing this interpretive dance. I was like, I don't know if that's going to work, Donald. And I was 100% wrong. It totally works. Like this idea of like, there is
just this beautiful movement.
There's just this beautiful of like 12 dancers or so coming in and out, different parts of their story. He also, everybody's telling their own story, and he worked with them for months to rehearse with them and tighten their stories up so that, and everybody just did such a...
Make it shareable, if you will.
Makes it shareable, but also they all just did an amazing job. And then these people, not being theater people, not being outgoing, just normal people walking up in front of 300 strangers telling this very personal story. Because a lot of times it's, we didn't shy away from, it wasn't like, I gave a kidney and it was great and everything turned out great and it was fine. It's like, no, there is rejection, there is loss, there is regret, there is redemption. Like they go through all the emotions on stage. And then we weave in and out with experts in the field of psychology and neuroscience, economy, just to talk about the idea of an abundant mindset. So this idea of, the lizard brain in the back of our brain going, like, look, we all think that we need to hoard everything because I need this. And what if I need this? So I'm going to keep it.
It's like that innate selfish trait in everyone.
And it totally makes sense because we come from hunter-gatherers, and, it used to be that like, we planted plants and like, or we hunted, and it was like, well, this is all the meat we had or all the vegetables we have. It's got to feed all of us. So don't give any of it away. But now we're living in a society where there is actually enough for everybody, or there could be if we take this mindset. So we talked to economists, and they're like, actually, on the economic models, if we take the abundant mindset, everything goes up. We talk to neuroscientists about it, like, what's different about these people? And they're like, their brains are literally different. So we did they did, MRI scans and stuff like that. And they're like, there's actually, spoiler alert to the movie, but they're like, they found that like, no, there's parts of their brain that are different.
And those people had a similar different.
Yeah. That these studies.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it's just like that. There is actually a difference. So you can actually track medically people that are more generous than others.
Wow.
Thankfully, they didn't scan my brain.
Instead of background checks for my dating, I want MRI scans.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Like how large? Yeah.
How nice are you? How selfless are you?
That's right.
That is so cool. I can't wait to watch. That is such a beautiful story. How did these 9 people, how did y'all like reach out or find them?
So they did an open casting.
Okay.
And they used, there was a bunch of different kidney organizations out there. So they reached out to a bunch of people. And then one else, Lori Lee, who's one of the other producers on the film, is a huge kidney advocate.
Okay.
And is, well connected to a lot of those organizations.
Okay.
So allowed us to work that way and to get enough people. And and then we got 100 people, and then we whittled that down to 20, and then we whittled that down to the people that are in the film. And there's actually more that we shot on the day, and and then the film unfortunately
couldn't fit it all.
We just couldn't fit.
Yeah. Beautiful. What is the biggest hope to get out of this documentary from the team that worked on it, from you? And
I think the biggest hope that the team has is just to get the word out in terms of dispelling some of the myths and the fears, or at least building more of an education about kidney donation, organ donation in general. And then also just how we as a society grow, because, we talk to experts talking about, like, after you get past 100 people, our mental state changes about how we see things.
Okay.
So, just kind of almost educating people, like, okay, whenever, your company or your nonprofit or your community gets to 100 plus, how that changes your thoughts on things. And so just opening people's eyes to that, and not necessarily getting them to actually go, okay, I'm going to sign up to be a non-directed kidney donor today, which would be amazing, because, it's talked about in the film that it's just like, we don't have a kidney shortage problem. We have just a want to donate problem. There's enough kidneys out there for all the people that are on there. And as somebody that has now I started this project because a friend of mine went through a lot of, he had a lung transplant, and then he also had a bone marrow transplant. And I got to unfortunately see that painful process of him going through that before he passed. I mean, he lived much longer because of it, but eventually he passed away because of it. But it was not a pleasant experience for him. And then right now my dad's actually going through kidney failure and is on dialysis and stuff like that. So, and I'm working to actually be his kidney donor right now. So it's, like,
make me cry. Oh my God.
But because of the film, it's like, I knew all the people to call.
The people.
Yeah. As soon as my dad was just like, my doctor says I have to go in dialysis. And I'm like, I'm getting Lori on the phone right now. We're like,
wait, we were talking before we started filming about, like, how many things in your life have, like, I'm not saying everything works out for you. Obviously, I don't even know you that well, but, like, some things are going, and maybe you had a job in LA that you mentioned and then it didn't work out, or, and then something happened in Houston, the South Coast. And, like, so that's amazing. Like, now you're just more equipped, educating people. Obviously, I know you were on the team, but you're educated now on the steps to take, or why it's so important, or how big of a shortage we're in. And, like,
yeah, because I mean, I was there for all the interviews, and I was there for the dinners afterwards. And so, and there's meeting so many more people and really learning what needs to happen. So hopefully that's going to be able to help my dad transition off of those medicines and off the situation that he's in now, so that he can be with us longer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was very interested to see the movie, and then after hearing you talk, I'm really excited about it.
Well, my hope is that we can, because of our deal with AMC, we're able to go to the powers that be with a little bit more data versus just a bunch of not first-time filmmakers, but just younger filmmakers in the industry. Where, like, our pedigree is not super deep, but being able to go to them and go, like, hey, look, there is definitely a need. We have all these people that have shown up, paid their money, gotten their tickets, sat there and loved it, and given us their testimonials and stuff like that. So whenever we do go to distribution, we have a little bit more data behind us, which will hopefully then give us a bigger platform to.
Oh, I hope that's the case. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Either way, though, I'll let you know when it hits.
Yeah. And the trailer, I'll put the link for the trailer in the episode notes. And obviously where we can find you. And
it's still showing all over the country. Like it still has showings going on for the next couple of months.
Oh, okay. Okay, so look it up at your local AMC.
AMC, or just go to abundantmovie.com and look for your city, and hopefully, or request it. Like there's a ability.
Take the time to request it. You can take the time to leave a bad Yelp review. You can take the time to do a positive moment.
Just put a positive review, even though just watch the trailer and go like, this looks amazing.
I'm gonna do that.
Leave a review on that.
I'm gonna do that because I know how important that is. Just as far as reviews,
like and subscribe to the trailer.
Subscribe, follow.
I'll take it.
Oh my gosh, how cool. Okay, and you've also done, we're kind of running out of time, but I know you've done The Example.
Yes.
Which I didn't know about, but I saw on your IMDb. That looks amazing. I've got to check that out.
Yeah.
You've done Shooting Stars.
Shooting Stars, yeah. Well, The Example, if you want me to, I'll send you a link. I'll send you a screener link.
Yeah.
Because you can, or if you've got Amazon Prime, it's on it.
Yeah, I do have Amazon Prime. Yeah, I saw that. That looks so good. Okay, I'm gonna watch that. So you're kind of doing a lot, and hopefully we can see.
So The Example is great because I did that it came out in 2016, so it's been a minute since that came out. So that is a film about the Beaumont race riot, which is something that I grew up in that area, never heard of it in my entire life. So whenever my writing partner Gordon Williams told me about it, and was like, I want to write this film about it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. It started as a documentary, funny enough, and then we transitioned it to a film. But that has been such a great life experience because one, it did really well and won a lot of awards and got us a lot of notions, or, got us a lot of exposure on it, which is great. But really, it's such a great story, and it is such a sadly, it's still a timely story about the abuse of authority and then also leaving a legacy. So we have, Gordon especially we've traveled all over the country showing that at universities, and we've partnered with historians so that we do this whole song and dance at universities where we go and show the film, and then a historian sets up the film and gives it its historical and racial context. And then we as filmmakers get to talk about it. Yeah. So it's been very educational for me. And it's also been just fun to step up and go to predominantly African-American film festivals and show it. And then they're like, and this guy is the one that did The Example. And I just get the most what?
Yeah. No, but that's good.
Oh, it's fantastic. No, it's the conversations that we've had about that film have been amazing.
Right. Very eye-opening on both sides, I'm sure.
Been doing it for almost a decade now.
That's very cool. I definitely want to check that out. So it's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. Amazing. Well, I'm excited to see what else you do, and maybe I'll involve myself in your production out here in Houston.
We'll do
that work. Yeah. Very exciting.
It's all about collaboration. I mean,
it's all about collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connecting, networking.
Well, it's just the film is just like other arts you can do by yourself. I just need some oils and a canvas I can paint. I can write with a pencil and a piece of paper. I can't make a film by myself, really. Like you can to limited degree, but realistically, it takes an army,
right? An army
to make a movie.
Yeah. Kind of hate to end on a wine of the week because the abundance was so good. But what's your wine of the week?
So my wine of the week. It's like hard.
I know.
I think. Man, my wine of the week really is like...
It's trivial too. Something that's so silly that's bugging you.
It's trivial, yeah. I think that my biggest wine of the week, just because I've heard it a lot from... So I'm a guy of a certain age.
Okay.
And so this is a wine just to the guys. Stop complaining about it hurts. Like, oh, my back hurts and my knee hurts, something like that. It's like, does it hurt because you've been really athletic and you're like really fit, or is it because you're unfit? So I'm kind of like...
I feel like you just called a bunch of people out.
I probably did, because I'm just like...
You're so right. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing to fix it? I guess that's my thing. It's just like, if you were like worked out this morning, it's like, oh man, I just worked out this morning.
Yeah, you'd have a little bit more sympathy.
But if it's just like, oh, I just binged watched, the latest whatever.
Yeah, I guess a guy wouldn't say this, but like, oh my God, I just binge watched 2 seasons of Love Island. Like,
right.
why my back hurts.
Maybe a guy would do that. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop complaining.
And that's just because somebody just complained to me like 2 hours ago. Really?
But what are you doing?
Yeah, really.
Okay. That makes sense. Where can we find, just one more time, Abundant is in, you can look on, what was the website?
Abundantmovie.com. Okay. You can look there, or you can hit me up on my website at wyattcagle.com is my personal director's website. And then scfilmvideo.com is the company website. Okay.
And then Instagrams. And I'll put all that in the bio.
LinkedIn. Yeah. I mean, Instagram and LinkedIn are usually the two that if you DM me, like, I will actually respond. Okay, good. The other ones, I'm just like, I check them once a month. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. And again, the Patience Award definitely goes to you. So, you're out. Let me pour a little bit more. We can't cheers on an empty glass. Oh, yeah. No, we can't do it.
Oh, God. I'm doing this left-handed, too. Okay.
Perfect.
Cheers. To the abundance mindset. Yeah?
Love it.
Okay. Happy Thirsty Thursday, whiners. Love you. Bye.